is Ian Adams. Speech titled, Barely the Truth. Barely the Truth, Ian Adams.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. I was 8 years old. I was watching my dad sight in on this big black bear. I'm not sure why my dad was going to shoot that bear, but I know we were starving. He might have been just trying to feed his family. Boom! He shot that bear. That bear stood up and it sneered at him, and we could see that that bear had a hole in his ear. My dad had shot that bear right through the ear like a farmer tagging a pig's ear. That bear sneered at my dad, and then he ambled off. And my dad looked at me in disappointment. A little bit of time went by. We hadn't seen that bear for a while. And I'm heading home up this rural gravel road. I'm sitting on the front seat of my dad's 1971 mustard brown, much like those chairs, 1971 Chevrolet Vega. Got my arms up on the dash, no seatbelt of course, my face up there, and I see this spot up ahead of us. As we're going along, my dad says, "Look, Ian, that's old One Ear. The bear is running down the road in front of us, kind of the same direction that we're going." My dad, this devious smile, looks at me. He says, "We're going to go bump that bear right in the butt." So he's driving along, puts a little bit of pedal down, cruises on up there, and we get right up behind that bear, and that bear's kind of looking over his shoulder at us, keeps looking, and sure enough, my dad bumps that bear right in the butt. Well, that bear didn't like that. He took an immediate left-hand turn right into a fence post, headlong. Tumbled into the ditch. The bear got up, sitting on his hindquarters, and he looked at my dad. He just sneered at him. Like, he remembered my dad from that day that he got shot through the ear. A few more days, maybe a little longer than that, I don't recall exactly. I was 8 years old when this all happened. I walked out of our daylight basement. This was a very unfinished log cabin. The basement had a single door, and it had some windows that didn't have glass. They had visqueen. They covered them. Well, I walked out of this door, and there was a corner right here that went around to our woodpile. And as I walked out the house, I saw this flash of black fur, and I knew exactly what had just happened. I walked right outside, right next to One Ear. Like an African gazelle, in 2 steps, I was 50 feet away. And like a big black bear does, he went right in the house for the food. One Ear knew, because we only had visqueen windows, that we had a freezer inside full of fish. One Ear got himself positioned right in front of that freezer, and he was able to open it up and start gobbling the fish down. This time, One Ear wasn't sneering. One Ear smiling. You can see, as I was looking through the window at him, trying to figure out what in the world we're going to do, that One Ear was having a great time inside the house. So I go upstairs around the outside access into the house, and I can see my dad. My dad's on the phone, and he's half wrapped in the cord that's tied to the wall of the old telephone, and he's fit to be tied. He's on the phone with the game warden, and he says, "There's a bear in my house. What do you want me to do about it?" And I could hear the game warden call through the telephone, "Shoot him!" My dad says, "I already did." That bear decided to leave on his own. He made his way right through that visqueen window. A few days later, the game warden showed up with a big steel trap, and just One Ear couldn't help himself, and he managed to get himself caught. As One Ear was traveling down the road, bouncing along in that big trap, I wondered, was One Ear going to miss us? And I also wondered, did he ever run across Dan the Doubter?